We're looking at an influencer on YouTube named Deestroying, how I made my first million.
I'm Deestroying. This is how I made, saved, and spent my first million. I pick my scholarship or I pick my YouTube channel.
Who snitched on him? I'm petty as a Like, I go back to that college, like I do donuts in the parking lot in like a Lambo, like y'all.
All right, so the first thing I did with my first million is I took 60 bands, $60,000, and I gave it to my mom.
Shout out to mom. I'll get there. Not as quick as my boy here, but how about we start with some Uber Eats?
I spent roughly about $280K on cars. $70,000 on jewelry. The Bust Down Rolly Avalanche, their big body Cuban, you feel me?
He's balling out responsibly. This is probably the best My First Million video like I've ever seen. Today, we're back at one of my favorite series on the internet, How I Made My First Million, except this time, we're looking at an influencer on YouTube named Deestroying. See how he made his money. I'm super excited. It's another brother like myself. Clearly, dude's balling out of control because he's on GQ on how he made his first million. Let's dive in.
I'm Deestroying. This is how I made, saved, and spent my first million. Very humble beginnings. You know, we have no AC, hot water. Eventually, I ended up moving to Florida. I started making YouTube videos. I was just messing around with the ball on the sideline, and I did this trick where I spun the ball with my feet and it stood up, and then I kicked the field goal. So our equipment manager at the time, her name was Allie, she's like, oh, nah, you gotta record this. You gotta do that again, and I'm gonna record you. We did it, she recorded it, I posted it on Twitter, and it went viral. SportsCenter picked it up, ESPN, like all these big sports news outlets picked it up.
I hope he gave Holly a bag for helping him out. It sounds like how he launched his career. This is kind of cool though, and kind of interesting that, you know how like before, like you would, you know, look at the main platforms like a GQ or like a magazine, and you would only see famous people outside of social media, like Mark Cuban. Now you got like social media stars, like we talked about in some of the previous videos where some of the TikTok stars are actually making more than CEOs.
I monetized my channel and I started making money. It wasn't a lot of money. I think in a month, I made like $1,200, maybe $2,000. It was not a lot of money. But to the NCAA, in their eyes at the time, they were like, hey, we gotta investigate your content, we gotta investigate your channel, we gotta investigate what you're doing, and if you're making money, then it's gonna be an issue. And eventually gave me the ultimatum. I either gotta pick my scholarship or I pick my YouTube channel. I chose YouTube. Now we're on GQ, baby.
How? He wasn't even like working per se. He was just posting videos. Who snitched on him? He's posting videos and making money off of it. It's just like, shout out to Deestroying. Shout out to the fact that he was able to get out of the matrix and work for himself. But to me, like, that's still crazy. Because if you're in college and you're making, yeah, I mean, of course, the revenue picked up. But if you're making like $2,000 a month, it's like, really? That's earning money? That's up. I'm petty as a Like, I go back to that college. Like, I do donuts in the parking lot in like a Lambo. Like, y'all, see me now. But he's probably a better man than me, so.
After I left school and I picked my YouTube channel, you know, I was homeless for a bit, I ain't gonna lie. I slept on my boy's couch. We kept working and we ran up the channel. My very first big check was like 7 bands in a month. And every month it just kept getting bigger. I'm a firm believer in financial responsibility. I'm invested in a retirement account.
Love it. Usually like when athletes are portrayed, it's usually about losing money, you know, especially black athletes. It's always like, oh, like so-and-so made 100 million, like lost it. Love it. Financial literacy is what this whole channel is about. Like my man, he's talking about, he got an investment account. I just love hearing that. Early on, he's making a ton of money, but the first thing that he said was, hey, I'm putting money in a retirement account. He's thinking about like the future and how to plan for that.
You've heard how I made and saved my first million. Here's how I spent it. All right, so the first thing I did with my first million is I took 60 bands, $60,000, and I gave it to my mom to help her pay her house down. And that's important because my mom, man, she sacrificed so much.
Shout out to mom. You always love hearing those stories, mom. Just hold on just a little longer. I'll get there. Not as quick as my boy here, but I'm sure you'll take a free meal or something. I'll send you some Uber, mom. How about we start with some Uber Eats? All right?
For my next purchase, I spent roughly about $280K on cars. Tesla Model 3, and I got a Tesla Model X. And I got a Jeep truck as well. I'm gonna rent them out. They gonna make me some money. The next thing I spent my money on, $70,000 on jewelry. The Bust Down Rolly Avalanche, their big body Cuban, you feel me?
So he has 3 cars, but he's renting them out. I'm thinking about buying a Tesla. Do I need a new car? The answer is no. But what I just learned on this video was like, somebody can just pay me for owning a Tesla. He's been responsible, right? He took care of his mother. He spent $280 on whips, but he's renting them out. And so why not stunt a little bit? Got the Bust Down Rolly Avalanche and the Cuban. He's balling out responsibly. Hey guys, if you like the content you're watching, there is a Patreon that you could subscribe to where you get more exclusive content. I will share my journey of how I've made money in sales, things I'm investing in, some of the pitfalls that I've made as relates to investing in my career. I'll be sharing those with you so that you can totally avoid those too. So if that's something you're interested in, you can click the link below in this video and sign up for the Patreon.
All right, the next thing I spent my money on is I bought an acre of land in Costa Rica. We getting property, man. After I bought my acre in Costa Rica, I made sure I bought me a home in my hometown in Florida. You put a good down payment, you have a good interest rate, your payment's not gonna be as high. Baby, I'm telling y'all, financial literacy.
All right, so love the fact that he bought a house. I mean, overall, financial literacy is what he's been preaching this whole time. I think he's probably the first one on here. It's kind of funny, right? Like, you've had all these celebrities on My First Million, and now we end up with a YouTuber or a social media influencer teaching everybody else financial literacy. Absolutely hilarious to me, but kind of cool and dope.
The next thing I spent money on, camera equipment. And the thing about my channel, it continues to grow, it continues to get better, it continues to evolve. So we gotta invest into the equipment. We bought all new cameras, editing software, whatever it may be, we just gotta reinvest into the channel, make the videos bigger and better. I got two camera guys, Sean and David. They both awesome, they both amazing, they do their thing. And them boys is on salary, so I gotta make sure my dogs is eating good, because they gonna be feeling good.
A lot of times, right, one aspect that's left out from investing is the fact that you should invest in yourself, and that also means investing like in your business, camera equipment, how you record, how you produce content. I'm glad that he pointed that out. Like, the reason why he's making money is because he's also investing in his channel and growing his YouTube presence and his social media presence and his social media business.
The last thing I spent in my whole million is we reinvested into the community. I dropped 140 bands back into the community. Every time we do one-on-ones, every time we host one of these events, I give out $10,000. 10 bands could change people's lives, bro. So just reinvesting into the community is important to me. They help me be where I am today. I mean, if I didn't have you guys' support, I don't know where I'd be at. This is just the first million. Who knows how many M's we're gonna touch? Hopefully, we're gonna have our first billion episode, you feel me?
140K into the community. I mean, I gotta say, this is probably the best My First Million video like I've ever seen. It's almost like too good to be true, but it's amazing. He's financially literate. He's bought cars, but he's renting them out. He's investing into his business, right, into his YouTube channel. And then lastly, 140K into the community. Just showing, yo, like, this is the #1 video on My First Million. We're gonna put the link in the bottom. Go take a look at the original. If you like videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video.